You wake up in a cold sweat. It's the same nightmare. There's conference chicken with white sauce for lunch. There's a carafe of lukewarm coffee in the corner. There's only 10 people at your event that you spent months planning. We might not be able to do anything about conference chicken for you, but we can make sure you have an event that gets you the turnout you're looking for. Engaging events are an alchemy of the right theme for the moment, the right people in the room, and the right message. How do you do that? Let's break it down. But first, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, take a second and hit the subscribe button. Let's start with the right theme. Don't underestimate the power of a theme. Your conference is meant to bring people together and share ideas. They need something to unite around and get excited about. A theme should reflect that moment in time for your industry. This is the time you should be really getting the pulse of your members to understand the big picture about what they're thinking about right now. Don't try to come up with your theme the Friday afternoon, the week before you need to start promoting, while furiously typing to ChatGTP. If you do that, you deserve to sit in the corner with your cold chicken and steamed broccoli. Ideally, this is one of the earliest steps to take in the process, and it takes time to get it right. You are working to unite your membership around one big idea, and your theme is your first opportunity to get that out in the world. Why would you waste that opportunity? An example of one of the exercises we like to walk through when we're working on conference theme ideas is to get the planning team together in a room and have a sticky note session. Everyone takes 2 sticky notes and is given 5 minutes to think in silence. On one, we write a word or phrase that describes the previous year, and on the other, a word or phrase with our hopes for the next year. This starts to get the temperature of what people are generally feeling and gives some early ideas of any themes that might start to emerge. From there, if your committee is large enough, you might want to consider small group breakout sessions to discuss theme ideas and then present them back to the larger group. This helps give everyone involved a chance to have their voice heard. You're going to have a good foundation of success in establishing your theme because you will have put in the work of listening to your members and distilling down what they're thinking and feeling. Speaking of giving people a chance to have their voices heard, let's move on to the next point. Have the right people in the room. You have your membership list and you know that all or most of your attendees will be coming from that list, but I challenge you to break that down a little further. Is your conference the type that tends to reach all ages and demographics, or do you always get a certain crowd? There's 2 groups I'd recommend paying extra attention to. The first is your new members. If someone hasn't been to your conference before, you want to give them as many opportunities as possible to meet people and feel like they belong to the group. Have identifiers for your first-time attendees, such as a different colored badge. Consider a happy hour event for leadership and first-time attendees only. That gives the first-timers face time with the movers and shakers within your organization, and it also guarantees them someone to talk to. If you have unstructured times scheduled for dinners or lunches, consider organizing something for the first-timers to attend or asking a board member to host an informal event, even if it isn't on the official schedule. The next is your emerging professionals. These folks are early in their career, and they know they have a lot to learn. They also have a lot of value to bring. They probably have more time to bring to the table in volunteer hours, and they also have a better pulse on the latest trends in technology. This is your opportunity to capture them and make them members for life. Consider a planning committee to build a conference track specifically for your young professionals, and empower them to be the ones to plan it. When I was in my early 20s, I was part of the planning committee for a workforce conference through the state governor's office, and I was one of 2 women in the room, and the youngest by about 3 decades. But I give them credit. They gave me a seat at the table back then to help plan the track geared for young professionals, and we brought in some great speakers that I remember to this day. If an entire track is a little too much to swing, consider a session for people early in their career. You could host a roundtable discussion with table leaders from your organizational leadership, paired with a table of young professionals. Again, it gets people talking to those outside of their immediate networks, and it makes the younger members feel like they're valued and their contributions and voices matter. So you have your theme, you know who's coming, Now, do you know what you want them to walk away with? What's the right message? People joined your association to learn from the best of their industry and talk about issues that matter to them. Conferences are their opportunity to have those conversations. Make sure your speakers are bringing a value that aligns with your industry's needs. I'm going to break those down into 3 groups. Not going too general, finding ways to get outside of your bubble, and looping back to your big idea. What do I mean by don't go too general? Well, I was once at a conference that covered marketing trends for a very technical and regulated industry. The presenters brought in someone from the arts and crafts world to speak about social media trends, and she tried to tie her arts and crafts post from Instagram into a presentation for this industry. The presentation fell completely flat. The planners didn't want to risk showing favoritism within the industry, which, although understandable, caused them to go so far in the wrong direction that the content was essentially meaningless to the attendees. She didn't understand the issues of the industry and the very real and unique challenges that industry is faced with. On the other hand, there can be creative opportunities to get outside of your bubble while bringing value that aligns with your industry's needs. Within the agricultural industry, estate planning is a huge issue. Many farmers are getting older, and it can be tough to have conversations about what the future of the family farm looks like to the next generation. Bringing in someone to talk about estate planning sounds like a million miles away from farming, but it has a massive impact on the quality of life of farmers. Another example is bringing in someone to talk about mental health to a conference of lawyers. Anxiety and depression are real issues within this industry, and having the lens of an outside expert can be incredibly helpful. Just make sure, when you're looking outside of your industry, the person you are bringing in understands your audience and why they are there. Lastly, a theme born out of listening sessions and careful consideration is going to be strong enough to be your North Star as you make these decisions. As you sift and filter through what to include in this year's conference, your theme can help you clarify and sharpen your focus. A good theme has a big idea woven throughout your conference, and that can become incredibly helpful as you narrow in on how you want to approach talking about social media, or AI, or the economics of your industry. Those are all really broad topics, but when you have the theme to filter them through, it can really help in giving a unique perspective that matters to the people in your industry today. So don't rush your theme. Take the time to think about how to get the right people in the room, and make sure you are amplifying the right message that speaks to what your members are currently facing. If you're looking for other ways to engage your members, check out our Boost Your Membership engagement video next.